You guys, we're on the bottom page 7 just to finish 5-2. We have seen these special right triangles before. You've seen them back in geometry. Does anyone remember what we'd call this kind of triangle? 30, 60, 90. What about this one? 45, 45, 90. You do like them? Oh, I did not like them as a student either because I couldn't remember the ratios. I couldn't remember, but I'm here to teach you a ratio. Sound good? Before people move ahead, this 4 is going to be a 5. Here's how these ratios go. Let's just focus in on this guy. Which side is going to be the smallest? The X, because it's across from the smallest angle. Smallest angle, smallest side. 1X, right? So then you might be wondering like, oh, what are these ratios? If we've got a 30, 60, 90, then, okay, so here's the deal. In a 30, 60, 90, the longest side is always 2X, and you're like, what? And then you're like, what is this third side going to be, which I struggle with. But you guys, let's act like this was Pythagorean theorem. Let's act like I named this B. A squared plus B squared is C squared, right? What if I said 1X squared plus my B squared equals my C squared, which is 2X squared? You don't have to write this part down. This is just really how this side comes apart, but you don't have to. You can just be a little sponge. Guys, what's 2X squared times 2X is going to get me 4X squared. Thank you, Gusty, for that great response instead of sassy response. What if I subtract a 1X squared over there? How many would I have?
3X squared.
4X squared minus 1X squared would get me 3X squared. That's okay. Oops, I keep forgetting that there's a squared with that B. How would I get rid of that squared with the B? So you're saying the square root of a squared cancels out. What's over here?
3X.
Hey, wait. I would have what with the 3? Wouldn't I have a square root of 3? What's going to happen with my square root of x squared? I would just have an x, right? So would you be comfortable saying that third side is I would bring that x out front and then I'd have a root 3. That's going to be that third side. Now, do I wish the root 3 went across from the 30-degree angle, like the 3's would match together? I wish. It doesn't. But it is helpful that the root 3 goes with the 30-degree triangle, 30, 60, 90. But that is the ratio that we do want to remember, Teddy. Again, you don't need to know this part, but we do need to get that part tattooed on our brain. Let's practice this. If this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, how would I call this triangle? This is a scalene, equilateral, or isosceles? Whoa. It's isosceles. If we got 2 of the same angles, then we have 2 of the same sides. So what would this side be? X, agreed. So Pythagorean theorem, again, you don't have to write this part, would be x squared plus x squared equals that hypotenuse squared. What's 1x squared plus 1x squared? 2x squared. How would I get c by itself? Square root it. What is the square root of 2? We don't know, so it's got to stay the square root of 2. What's the square root of x squared? X, so I'm going to have an x times the square root of 2, and that's going to get me my third side there. How do I remember that one, me personally? 2 equal angles or 2 equal sides mean I have the root 2. Okay. Let me show you, again, lots of different ways that you can think of these. Here's where my students have traditionally had the most success. When we look at this number 8, across from the 30 is always the shortest side, or 1x. So do you guys agree across from my 30, we got a 2 here? So then what would be my hypotenuse?
4.
Yeah, we got to just take 2 times that x value. 2 times by 2 gets me a 4. What do I do to get my 60-degree side? You take that x value and you just multiply it by root 3. So in this case, we would have 2 to the root 3. Because, right, because my x was a 2 there, Bubba? You okay with that? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think 7's a little harder. Which side did I give you on 7? I gave you the thing across from the 90. 16's across from the 90. What's across from the 90 over here? 2x. So what I find helps my students the most is that this is what they gave me. 16 is the 2x side. Excuse me. So just like you said, Ro, you said if I divide by that 2, what's 16 divided by 2?
8.
8 gets me the x. Now, granted, that x corresponds to this x. The x is always across from the 30. What do we got? Where is my
Y.
8 gonna go? It's gonna be in the place of the y. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize for that overlap of variables, if you will. Thanks, Sky. If my shortest side is 8, across from the 60, you take the shortest side and you multiply by
X square root of 3.
root 3. But if my x is 8, what would this side be? 8 root 3. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Let's go to this 45, 45, 90-er. If this is a 45, 45, 90, which side matches 2 root 2? B. So boom, that's like it right there. Those legs have to match. What do you have to do? You agree my x is 2 root 2. What do I have to do to get the hypotenuse? You take your x and you multiply it by, careful, root 2. I got to take my x, which was 2 root 2, and I got to multiply it by a root 2. What is root 2 times root 2? 2. Some people might have to think of root 2 times root 2 is root 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Times what? Final answer? Done. Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay, this one I think is harder. 5 is what side of this triangle? Uh-huh. And what is the hypotenuse over here?
X squared.
X square root of. So here's what I find it helps my kids the best. 5 is the x root 2 side. Go solve for x now. What do you have to do? Divide by root 2? So I'd get 5 over root 2 is my shortest side. Am I allowed to leave my answer like that?
No.
No. What do I have to do to that?
2. So it's 5 over 2.
Perfect. So she's saying, Lambo gets salty when she has a square root in the denominator. So when I multiply by my root 2 over root 2, I'm left with what up top?
5 root 2 over 2.
5 root 2 over 2. Can I simplify that?
No.
No. So this leg is 5 root 2 over 2, and so is that. You okay with that?